Welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight, the boys are going to break down our predictions for the second half of the MLB season, as it's All-Star Weekend right now. We're going to tell you who's going to make the moves and make the playoffs, and then who's going to probably end up dropping out of their first place position in their division. So, before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're helping grow the family, and we love your interactions too. So hit us in the comments, tell us if we're crazy or who you think is going to make the moves. All right, all Braves fans probably all want to say that Atlanta's going to take over the division.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Mets will always crash in the second half.
Yeah, I do think the Mets will make the playoffs. I got that feeling that Atlanta's going to either make a move at the trade deadline and turn it on and get back into position, because if you're going to try and repeat, you probably need to win your division. So, and I would just kind of open it up, like any other bold predictions you kind of want to go with. You know, somebody going to make the playoffs, somebody going to drop out.
So, I mean, definitely out of the National League East, I think Atlanta overtakes the Mets and they win their fifth straight division title. Out of the Central, I think St. Louis comes out on top. I think they have a better team than Milwaukee. I think they're a better hitting team. And Milwaukee might have better pitching, but I think St. Louis can overtake that with their hitting. And of course, obviously, the Dodgers are probably going to come out of the West.
Who's going to end up? Obviously, we know who's going to be the division, or we're kind of laying out who's going to be the division winners here with you. Who are you thinking is going to be the two wild card teams coming out of the NL?
I think it's going to be the Mets. I'm going to go Mets and Padres.
Okay. I'm going to double down on yours. I'm actually going to go Braves, Cardinals. No. Braves is the division winner. Cardinals is the division winner. Dodgers is the division winner. I'm going to double down on the Mets being one of the wild cards, and I'm also going to double down on the Giants being one of the wild cards.
Ooh.
So I do think the Giants are going to end up making a couple moves and trying to make this run here. I think they got a really great pitching staff, and they just got to figure out some power in their lineup as far as hitting. And I'm saying it now. Milwaukee's going to go from being their division leader here at the All-Star break to literally not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think St. Louis overtakes them with their hitting alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm going to say the Mets take the division.
Okay.
St. Louis overtakes the Brewers, like we're all saying. Double down on that. Dodgers, Braves are the wild card with the Padres.
Okay. God, that would be a hard game for Atlanta to have to freaking try and defend their championship, starting with the Padres.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong on that, but
yeah. AL side, you want us to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first again. Obviously, the Yankees are probably not going to fall out. They've only lost 28 games out of 92.
I know.
So they're definitely going to stay up there. I'm gonna go off brand here. I think Cleveland's going to overtake Minnesota.
Whoa!
I think Cleveland overtakes Minnesota. Cleveland's got depending on what they do at the trade deadline. But if Cleveland keeps their pitching intact, they don't get rid of Bieber.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland has a chance to overtake Minnesota. I think they're playing very good baseball. They've got their lineup's pretty solid. I think Houston stays right there. I don't think Seattle catches up to Houston. I think Houston's just a much better team.
Yeah.
So your wild cards, I'm going to go with Tampa. I'm going to say Seattle sneaks in.
Okay.
I'm going to say Seattle sneaks in.
I like that. All right, so are you thinking Cleveland is buying or selling at the trade deadline? Or just sitting still?
I think they sit still. I don't think. Like I said, if they don't do anything with Bieber, obviously if they trade off Bieber, I think they go into a sell mode.
Yeah.
If they hold on to Bieber, I think they kind of lay low and see how it goes for the rest of the season. They already invested the money in Jose Ramirez. They've got an all-star at second base that was a starter tonight.
Rosario.
No. Jimenez or something.
Yes.
But Ahmad Rosario has been playing fantastic for shortstop for them. Yep. He also doubles in the outfield. So I think Cleveland's for being such a young team has really done pretty well this year. Just like Seattle, they've turned it on. They've gotten really hot at the right time. And that Julio Rodriguez is the real deal, dude.
Yeah.
That kid can rake.
That kid's crazy good. He's stealing bases. Nobody's even talking about the fact he's got 23 stolen bases.
Yeah.
So And then so you went Astros. You went.
Yeah, Astros win the division. I don't think Seattle catches Houston, but then I think it's going to be Tampa's going to stay in there because I think Tampa's going to make a move or two to stay in that wild card hunt. Just because I think they still have enough talent to be a playoff contender and a playoff team. Now, like I said, I think Seattle makes some right moves here. I mean, they've got more wins than Cleveland and Minnesota right now. So I mean, they're sitting pretty in the wild card right now. So I mean, I think Seattle stays on the uptick and then stays in that race.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Yankees. I think they'll win the East. The Central, I think the Twins hold on to it. Astros out of the West, I don't think Seattle's going to catch up to them. Yeah, they've got the young J-Rod, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough to get it going. I do think the wild card, though, will be Cleveland and Seattle.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So
One thing I didn't hit on with Seattle too is Robbie Ray has really come along.
he really has.
He's come back to being that Cy Young form where he's striking out 8 to 12 batters, going 7-8 innings. He's really turned it around from the start of the season where he wasn't that Cy Young caliber pitcher.
Yeah.
But these last 6-7 starts that he's done, been lights out phenomenal.
Yeah. I think Seattle is a couple pieces away.
Oh yeah, I don't think they go deep, but I think they at least make that wild card position.
No, I think even for where they're at, what are they? They're 51 and 42. Yeah. So I mean, I think that if they want to stay in contention for these wild card spots in the AL, they're going to have to make some moves. So for me, it's going to be Yankees winning their division. I'm going to surprise some people. They're in third place right now, but I like the White Sox. I think if the White Sox can just get healthy,
if they get some power,
they need to get Eloy Jimenez back. Lance Lynn has got to figure out what's going on with him and get back to being a guy that's a sub-3 ERA with 100-plus strikeouts. But I think they have the opportunity to get back into position to win their division in the Central. Astros have to be the winner in their division. They're just too high right now. They're too good a freaking team.
They're leading the league in home runs. I mean, they're leading the league in home runs, and we got Yoran Alvarez, who's got 30 bombs. Jose Altuve's at 20.
Yeah,
Cal Tucker's got 20 plus. I mean, they're killing it right now.
They're still winning. I mean, they've won probably they're 7-3 in their last 10 with Yoran Alvarez and Michael Brantley both on the IL.
Right.
So, and Justin Verlander aging like a freaking fine wine. This dude's over here.
38 years old with a 12-2 record, a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, this dude's incredible. So, and for me, the wild cards are going to be a little interesting. I'm actually going to go with Minnesota being one of them. I know they're leading their division right now. I do think the White Sox overtake them, but Minnesota has enough. I also think they're going to make some moves. But I'm also going to go Toronto, too. I think Toronto has spent so much money into their team trying to be great here, and they're just not quite good enough to be the second best team in that AL East. So be on the lookout for them to make some moves to push themselves over Tampa and overtake that spot. But
I think the problem with Toronto is it starts and ends with Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Vlad Guerrero Jr. is not producing this year as he should. I think it starts. I think it starts with him. And he's not hitting 300. He's not hitting 40 bombs. He's not going to do that this year. I don't think so. I think him being on a down year this year is really hurting them because he was such a key part of that team last year.
Yeah.
On the offensive side of the ball. I mean, he was just so key and instrumental in them winning the games that they won because you couldn't stop him. There was nothing you could throw to him that he wasn't going to hit.
Yeah, it's not just him. It's Bo Bichette is batting sub 230, right? And I mean, this is a young, and he's going to get better.
Oh yeah,
he's going to find it. This kid is a freaking all-star in the future. Kevin Biggio has been really horrific. Kirk's been a nice surprise for them behind the plate, and I think George Springer has done well in the outfield. But Hyun-Jin Ryu has been on the IL the whole dang year. Alex Manoah has pitched really well for him, but they're a couple pieces away.
I don't think he's pitching that.
Yeah, Berrios is not really pitching that well, so I really think they're just a couple pieces away. But you're going to see a lot of those teams in the AL, especially I think I think Seattle, Tampa, and Toronto will all make some pretty significant moves to try and put themselves in a better position to kind of solidify their chances at this wild card. Because really, if you're Seattle, You're probably not going to pass Houston, so you're shooting for a wild card spot. And if you're in the AL East, you know that you're not beating the Yankees. You're already 13 games back at the All-Star break.
Unless the Yankees go on some horrific run and they lose like 2 players, they're not going to go anywhere.
So whoever's in the Central is probably fighting for the division, not a wild card spot. But I do think that Minnesota and the White Sox will probably battle it out really well in the second half.
Yeah, I wanted to hit on that, but back to the focus on the NL, but it's a little bit the same in the AL. I think it's more prominent in the NL though. If you look at the East and the West, I think you've got the 2 top teams from each division going, because if you look at the Central, like the team that's going to come in second is still going to be that far behind the top 2 out of the East and the top 2 out of the West, especially in the NL, a little bit in the AL. Like the NL Central is like it's Minnesota and Milwaukee. Seattle,
St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis and Milwaukee fighting for it, but like if you look at like the Dodgers and the Padres and then the Braves and the Phillies, like their win records are so much higher than whoever's going to finish second in the Central that it seems like both Central divisions are not going to get a wild card shot.
It's a little strange this year how the Centrals have been so bad. I mean, you look at it, two of the worst teams. Well, obviously Oakland is really terrible too, but you look at this Central division, you're talking about
Chicago and Cincinnati. You both have 35 wins or less.
I mean, look at this, and you got 36 and 37, which is where you can't sit.
Look at Philly, though, 3rd in the East, and they could be fighting for the lead in Central.
Yeah, they would be a game back in the Central instead of what are they?
3rd,
eight and a
half in the East. Yeah.
So,
but another thing that's really crazy to look at here is the run differential for the Yankees right now. They are plus 199.
Listen, they're a good team.
Run differential.
I don't like it. I've enjoyed the last 10 years of the Yankees really sucking.
Not being relevant at all.
Yeah, whatever it is at this point. 13 years. So I've enjoyed
these 2009 was their last championship.
They won't beat Houston.
Maybe not.
Houston will beat them again.
Maybe not. We'll see.
They'll continue to hate Houston every year, but I think Houston beats them out.
I hope so. All right, well, those are our predictions for the second half of the MLB season. Hit us in the comments and let us know what you think or who you're betting on. As always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.